Okay, y'all, I don't think that was a 5-0. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. I really appreciate all the little things that most people take for granted. Most people take for meaningless, useless. Between you and me, I think everything means something. It's something that's part of a much bigger thing, a much larger thing, and I appreciate all of it. I don't take any of it for granted, so I try to enjoy it. Every little bit, every little bit, every little bit, 'cause it's part of a bigger bit. I think that people get so lost in the success aspect of it that they really miss all the little things that they'll miss eventually. You know, there's this song that was written by one of my favorite artists, one of my favorite singer-songwriters of all time, a hardcore feminist, I might add. Her name's difranco, real popular in the early 90s, in like the independent circles, of course. She was popular in like the coffee shops in New York, but she wrote this song called Napoleon, just about this friend of hers that sold out so they could make it big. Like one of the lyrics is, I wonder, when you're a big star, will you miss the earth? That song is like so sad because it's just so true. It's about people and like how much they want success and how it doesn't really make them happy. And how she was always satisfied with like what little success she had. And she had her following. She had her people that supported her no matter what. I mean, I only saw her in concert once, but I mean, I know people that have seen her in concert multiple times, and it's like, yeah, I mean, Stanhope, the comedian Doug Stanhope, you know, he's got a cult-like following. Like, they'll follow him to the ends of the earth. That's what I want, baby. That's what I want. My people. You think Jerry Seinfeld has a cult-like following? I mean, he's mainstream successful, and not to say that there's not anything that's impressive about that. He's talented. But, you know, he's talented because there's probably, you know, risks that he might have wanted to take that he didn't take because he knew that that wouldn't have gotten him to the place where he is. You know, and that's fine. That works for him. But, you know, I just don't understand, like, society's obsession with getting there. You know what I mean? They're obsessed with this idea of going places. It's like, I go places in my mind. You know, what do I need an airplane for? I'm not even gonna be allowed on an airplane anyway, because stuff that I refuse to do. I'm not even just talking about that fucking jab. They want you to get that fucking test and that swab and all this shit. I ain't doing any of that. Fuck that. It's like it's all demonic. But it's all part of the bigger picture show. To brainwash people into thinking a bunch of shit's necessary that's not necessary. Because the only reason why anything is as serious as they make it out to be, it's literally because of all the stuff that they have done. It has very little to do with the actual thing itself. Anybody that pays attention to the details on the outside knows this shit. You know what I'm talking about if you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going into details because fuck that. But I find it really funny though. Like, just to illustrate how brainwashed my parents are, one of the first things that my dad shows me when I get to the house today, I don't know if I've mentioned this already, but I'm going to mention it again because it's worth re-mentioning. Okay? So one of the first things that my dad points out to me, he shows me a copy of the newspaper. I live in Tennessee, so that newspaper is rightfully called the Tennessean. Okay? On the front page of the Tennessean is an article written by the health reporter. I believe this piece of shit's name is Brett Kellner. I know this because I've seen this from like the Twitter of the Tennessee Twitter or whatever the fuck, when it's talking about COVID updates and all this bullshit. Well, I recognize this guy because I've seen his Twitter. This guy's a total piece of shit, all right? Because he's lying to the public about everything. And the title of this article is all about how people that have not taken this magical wizard juice are prolonging the pandemic, and how we're at much larger risk of getting sick and dying. Which is really funny, because I actually just saw yet another article that said that half of the people in the United Kingdom that got COVID and died were fully quaxinated, okay? So that means that they got both of their little shots and they still got this virus and died. So it literally makes no logical sense whatsoever to take this so-called medicine, because if you take it, you can still get the illness or virus or whatever you want to call it that this vaccine is supposedly preventing you from getting, right? So I find that really funny. And of course, I tell that to my parents and they don't have anything to say about that. They, like, it doesn't matter. Like, they're so brainwashed by modern medicine. They're so brainwashed by it. They'll just go along with whatever the media says. But here's the thing. The media is even admitting these things. They're admitting that people are dying. But the media is still like, it doesn't matter. You still need to take it. You could die. You probably will die. It doesn't matter. You've still got to take it. It's just absolutely hilarious. Like, I just can't. I can't do it anymore. I just can't. And my mom got mad at me because, like, my dad, I didn't even say anything about it. Because, like, I don't bring this stuff up in front of my parents anymore because I don't want to get into an argument. But my dad was the one that provoked me. My dad was the one that showed me this article. And then my mom has the audacity to get mad at me because I still want to keep talking about it. And I'm like, why are you going to try to point out false information You're telling me to look at fake news and take this fake news seriously. And then you want to get mad because I don't take it seriously. And I am drawing attention to the fact that a bunch of people have died taking this so-called medicine. It just makes me sick, man. It makes me sick what this media has done. But it's like, there's no challenging of authority. You know, so it's like my parents, they don't get how or why I could possibly not trust the media. Because they're the authority. They know what's going on because they work for the media. You know, and the media, those are trusted sources. And the scientists, they're experts. They're experts. Why wouldn't you trust the experts? And I tried to tell my mom, I was like, the same people that are pushing for an 8-year-old boy to turn themselves into an 8-year-old girl, those are the same people that are trying to convince us of global warming, and those are the same people that are trying to convince us to take this jab, and they have a bunch of money invested in it. It's the same kind of money. It's the same kind of science, you know? But she can't understand it. All these things are correlated. She just can't believe that the world's that evil. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.